Okay, so have you ever wondered which series in Weekly Shonen Jump do they deem to be the most profitable? Well, Shonen Jump recently officially released to advertisers a Shonen Jump guide of the series that they deem to be profitable. Essentially, these are the series that they know are going to bring them revenue. I want to stress that I feel as though while yes, profitable in terms of financial gain is of course important because Shonen Jump, Shueisha, and in general everybody connected are part of a business. However, I don't think that that's to slight any of their other series because for starters, Shonen Jump is one of the hardest magazines in the world to receive publication for a comic strip, a manga. By no means do I think that they don't believe in any of the other series, because make no mistake about it, with every artist that they put in Weekly Shonen Jump magazine, that is an investment. They have to invest in the artist, paying his salary, they have to invest in the assistants, they have to invest in advertising, and of course so on and so forth as the series continues. Of course they have to invest time in meetings when it's time for the anime adaptation. There's a lot that goes into things. And I also find this list very interesting because there's some series on this list that are brand new and some that have ended quite a while ago. So it kind of speaks volumes on what's really making Shonen Jump their money. Because from the ended series list, for starters, one of the ones that threw me off, I was like, why are they listing this? The Promised Neverland. The Promised Neverland has already been over for a number of years now. The anime adaptation, the second half wasn't a success. The first half was great and the manga in general went on for a long time. In fact, The Promised Neverland was definitely a radical departure from the norm of what you would get in Weekly Shonen Jump. But again, I'm just shocked to see The Promised Neverland on this list because it ended so long ago. Like, that is still making them money. It must mean that the manga, maybe internationally, globally, is really selling well, and in general, licensing agreements, maybe the stuff that they have going on with the authors is what's happening. Because again, Promised Neverland sold very well, but it makes you question, like, what is it about it that is profitable in 2024 that makes them say, yo, this is one of the big dogs. Then another one that's on the end of the list is Haikyuu. I have no doubt in my mind because even though the Haikyuu manga ended, they still of course have those two movies and it's one of the most successful sports manga of all time. I'm a little bit surprised it's not Kuroko because I remember Kuroko was just like an explosion like no other and it sold so many volumes so quickly. But again, maybe the business with Haikyuu is just so well done that when they license it, they get a lot of revenue. Okay, this one, I don't even gotta really get into it. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, we know that makes them a crap ton of money. And because they're not the ones that have to put together the anime, of course that goes to Studio Ufotable, because I would throw the argument, well, what about the investment in the anime? But that is Ufotable that puts up the money, I'd imagine, to create the Demon Slayer anime based off a license that they have with Shueisha. So however much money and however much manpower they want to put, that's on Ufotable, not on Shonen Jump. Therefore, it doesn't affect their bottom line. And again, Demon Slayer is just a money printing machine. And last of the ended series is My Hero Academia, another one that I have no doubt in my mind. And My Hero just ended, what, a few weeks back, but I had no doubt in my mind that My Hero Academia made them a ton of money. The sales of My Hero Academia manga all the way almost up until the end was gradually increasing, which is an anomaly. You never hear something like that. Normally a series halfway in, 3/4 of the way in, usually sales start to drop. My Hero Academia, straight through the movies, everything was just for the most part a success. So My Hero Academia being one of the breadwinners, not a shocker. But considering the fact that those were the only 4 series of the ended manga from Shonen Jump that they listed really is fascinating to me because Shonen Jump has had a lot of series that have ended that are insanely popular, especially more popular than stuff like The Promised Neverland. While The Promised Neverland was a major success in comparison to other series that they've had, so I want to attribute some of why those series are the most profitable is in terms of the fact that the business was handled very well. Then of the series that are currently running, these are the ones that Shonen Jump deemed profitable of what's happening in the magazine right now. Kagurabachi. I think Kagurabachi is already at like 500,000 sales with like 3 volumes or something. It's in that ballpark. Kagurabachi, have no doubt in my mind, they're pushing it hard. It had that major initial start with everybody on the internet talking about it. Kagurabachi, not only is it profitable at the moment, it's going to go on to be even more profitable once it gets its anime adaptation. And yeah, that's, I guess, also a good sign that Kagurabachi is definitely going to be around for the long haul, if already from what they currently have, it's one of the most profitable. Next up is Akane Banashi. Akane Banashi is that manga about Rakugo. I remember reading about like 10 chapters of it. It was pretty interesting, but it doesn't have an anime yet. And for the most part, I think within like 10 volumes or 15 volumes, it sold like about 2-3 million copies. So again, this must be a case of the business is just handled very well. When the anime adaptation comes out, it's going to reflect and all that stuff because Akane Banashi is pretty dope. But honestly, compared to some of the battle series that they currently have, Akane Banashi, I don't think is like a breadwinner per se compared to them. But again, the business must be great. Blue Box, they just released the anime trailer. I think the anime is about to drop. That's a sports romance series. And Shonen Jump usually always has one manga that kind of hits the romance market. Go back to like Nisekoi and stuff like that. So Blue Box being a success. I know the manga sells pretty freaking well. No doubts on Blue Box. In fact, I think it's about to go up when this anime drops because it looks pretty good. Next up is Sakamoto Days. Again, another manga that's freaking awesome. I read a bit of it back when it was coming out and it was just really fun to read. And I think it has the anime that's coming in on Netflix. I gotta imagine that Netflix dropped the bag in order to get the exclusivity of Sakamoto Days, and that's probably one of the things that made them say, yo dog, we raking in the profits, fam, because we're in a different era now where anime are, you know, some titles are going exclusive to certain streaming services, and Shonen Jump is probably running up the bag like, y'all want our property? This is a brand new manga hit series, pay up. And then the last two on the list, Jujutsu Kaisen, it's about to end. No doubt in my mind about how profitable that is. It's the second highest selling manga still currently in Weekly Shonen Jump. It sells millions each volume. Jujutsu Kaisen, of course, and then One Piece. Really, like, the only thing with One Piece you could argue is that I'm sure they spend a lot of money investing into One Piece, and probably likewise with Jujutsu Kaisen, but definitely with One Piece because of all the things that they have going on. You know, you got the live action, you got the remake anime, you got the current anime, you got the manga. I'd imagine Oda's salary is insane at this particular point, 25 years in. Yeah, One Piece, they probably invest a lot, but it's so popular and it's such a success that it's still bringing in revenue. It's still profitable. So that's freaking awesome, because sometimes you can have a big series like One Piece, and if the business isn't handled right, it could be a loss leader. It could be that it's the most popular thing and it attracts people to read the other manga, but it isn't necessarily profitable. But that's not the case with One Piece. And honestly, I gotta say that with the currently released manga, the ones that are actually in Shonen Jump right now, I would say, okay, that is accurate for the most part of what's profitable. However, of the ended series, I feel like there will probably be a couple of others, like, even though it ended a long time ago, well, it ended about 10 years ago now, I would say that Naruto, I gotta imagine, would still be profitable globally just because of, again, licensing, merchandising. In general, Naruto still is massively popular even without a current ongoing series. Of course, we have the spin-off of Boruto, but the Naruto IP itself, I'm shocked, isn't profitable to Weekly Shonen Jump, unless just manga sales for it aren't really raking in the bucks. But there's probably some other ended series, or even Bleach for that matter, like Year Blood War is going crazy right now. I gotta imagine manga sales are flying and all sorts of stuff. So a little bit questionable on that aspect, although in general, yeah, this is what Shonen Jump deems to be profitable. And I'm sure there's going to be a few people that are disappointed that their series aren't being listed. I've seen some people saying, what about Mission Yozakura Family, Undead Unluck, Elusive Samurai, Witch Watch, Me and Roboko? A few of those, like for example Me and Roboko, I feel probably wouldn't make it on that list anyway, just because Me and Roboko has always been a comedy series. It doesn't sell the craziest, but it kind of holds down the comedy bag for Weekly Shonen Jump. Witch Watch is a more of a newer thing and it hasn't really exploded yet. Elusive Samurai is just now taking off with the anime, and I think it's pretty successful. Undead Unluck is the one that I'm a little bit surprised isn't deemed as profitable, especially with that anime by David Production Studios. Like, I would expect Undead Unluck to have been one of the ones that are profitable, but again, this is what Shonen Jump's numbers tell them. Let me know what you guys think about all of this though. Are there any series you feel like Shonen Jump is downplaying and that's probably profitable but they're not listing? And your overall thoughts. That's all I have for this one. I'm Tim, and as always people, have an awesome day. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to get more. Thank you so much. Yeah. But in the end, it always ends with the end. So let's not pretend we can always start anew. We can do it again.